What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman. The number one question I keep getting is who's the new big bad in Avengers Endgame. Some of you believe it's Galactus, Adam Warlock, and Annihilus alike. Others believe it's the Skrulls. I truly don't believe it's a big bad at all, but rather the Living Tribunal. I'm going to cover today who the Living Tribunal is, why his appearance in Avengers 4 makes more sense than almost any other theory on the internet, and the pieces of evidence presented by Marvel Studios themselves as to the Living Tribunal's appearance in Avengers Endgame. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button, we're giving away 2 PlayStation 4 Pros, as well as a whole slew of other Marvel related stuff. All you have to do, hit the subscribe button, leave a like and a comment on this video, then hit the notification bell, and if you want to stick around, I'll get into all the giveaway stuff again at the end of the video. Now, moments ago, I made the claim that the Living Tribunal in Avengers Endgame makes more sense than most theories on the internet, and I actually mean that. There is so much evidence and setup for this, it's unbelievable. But one of the first keys is understanding who the Living Tribunal is. It's kind of a complicated character, and at one point even Adam Warlock served as the Living Tribunal, but he can be summed up with a couple of key points. The first of which being he's the second most powerful entity in the entire Marvel Universe, second to only the one above all. Now, the most aficionado of comic book fans will love to remind you that the Living Tribunal was actually killed by the Beyonders under mitigating circumstances, but this does not diminish the fact that he is the second most powerful character in the Marvel Universe and the MCU. The second important key is that he's the balance keeper among all dimensions and the main dimension, that would be the dimension that Earth 616, the main continuity in Marvel Comics, is in. And as such, it's his job to seek out those who would upset the balance and play judge, jury, and executioner. Speaking of which, there are 3 faces, actually 4, and we'll get to that, floating on the Living Tribunal in all various forms of shroud, the 3 faces being equity, necessity, and revenge. While earliest mentions of the 4th face that's fully shrouded by the Living Tribunal come as the Stranger, later it is revealed to none other than She-Hulk that the 4th shrouded face is a mirror, revealing yourself in the cosmic entity of the Living Tribunal, reminding you to only judge others as you would hope to be judged. Way to go, Marvel. Now, while that's the quickest summary of the Living Tribunal that one could possibly give, him just being a balance keeper among all dimensions from those who would hope to upset it doesn't mean he's necessarily going to show up in Avengers 4. But what if I told you one of his main jobs was to stop people from using the Infinity Stones in unison? Okay, we'll come back to that, but let's first examine when the Living Tribunal first showed up in the comics. It was actually during Strange Tales number 158, which is in the middle of a run 156 to 159, in which Doctor Strange unleashes another Master of the Cosmos. The Living Tribunal shows up to defeat this Master of the Cosmos, Zom, but then admonishes Doctor Strange, telling him there can only ever be one Master of the Mystic Arts per dimension, and that he must go to Earth now and destroy it because they upset the balance that is Doctor Strange unleashing a second Master of the Mystic Arts. Any of this sound familiar? Do you happen to know of a second Master of the Mystic Arts along with Doctor Strange? Maybe someone who has all the Infinity Stones and the main continuity who upsets the balance by alternating reality? Anybody? Anybody? Now, luckily, Doctor Strange is able to talk the Living Tribunal into granting him a temporary stay, literally uttering the sentence, "Not all hope is lost," referring to the goodness and the capacity for good that the Earth still contains. And while the details and similarities in both of these stories, both the one in Strange Tales and Thanos' collection of the stones and subsequent snap, aren't an exact analog, they're not an exact one-to-one, the most important details are, and rather you could change some easy ones, as in Doctor Strange specifically told Tony he's the protector of their reality, and his job was to protect the Time Stone. Perhaps the Living Tribunal comes to destroy Earth because they failed in that job. Regardless of the details that would need to be massaged in order for this to work narratively, it is important to note that the MCU has conflated several storylines and several character arcs into one to make them work in the past that have been much more complicated than this. However, comic book precedent alone is not evidence that this will occur in Avengers Endgame, rather the evidence comes from Marvel Studios themselves. In the end of 2018, Marvel Studios released Thanos Titan Consumed. While they had released art books in the past, this was their first fictional novel, canon to the MCU and authored by Barry Lyga, told the backstory of the Thanos we saw in Infinity War. During that story, Thanos is speaking to the lore speaker and asks specifically why no one uses the Infinity Stones. And to quote the novel, and remember guys, this is canon to the MCU, the lore speaker answers Thanos by saying, "They are hidden, Thanos, and because the Celestials and others The ones whom the Celestials fear keep close watch on the stones from afar. The ones whom the Celestials fear. This is canon to the MCU. So there we are with the earliest hints that there are those who are above the Celestials, those who keep watch on the stones. Not to mention, moments earlier, I told you one of the Living Tribunal's main jobs was to keep the Infinity Stones from being used in unison. But guys, this isn't even the strongest piece of evidence for the Living Tribunal to show up in Avengers Endgame. You may remember some earlier confirmations from last year saying that Doctor Strange has a scene in Avengers Endgame coming up with an all CGI character. The Living Tribunal is one of the few characters that would definitely be all CGI and wouldn't need an actual casting except for perhaps a voice actor, and that's if it wasn't going to be entirely effects generated as well. The other main piece of evidence for the Living Tribunal is that this was teased in the very first Doctor Strange movie, never to be paid off like some of the earlier Easter eggs of Atlantis and the Submariner. They still have not tied up this Easter egg. If you remember when Mordo was fighting Strange during a training exercise, he holds up a staff and tells him that that is the staff of the Living Tribunal because some magic is just too powerful for them to behold, so they have to imbue it onto an object, confirming that not only does the Living Tribunal exist in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but rather setting up the deep-seated connection to Doctor Strange himself so that the appearance as it happened in Strange Tales can take place here in Avengers Endgame. Outside of all of the evidentiary points that I've brought up in this video, one little side point I'd like to bring up is that Eternity has been rumored for Avengers Endgame quite a bit, and in a particular scene in the comics from Infinity Gauntlet, remember that was the original name of Avengers Endgame until Zoe Saldana leaked it. In Infinity Gauntlet, Eternity comes to plead with the Living Tribunal because Thanos has obtained the Infinity Gauntlet and all the stones, telling the Living Tribunal that this is unfair and that he must intervene and stop him. While I think it would be a stretch to see this before the Living Tribunal is on his way to see Strange, and these are from two separate story points, they do coincide, especially in this regard, now that Thanos has obtained both the gauntlet and the stones. Like I said, it would be a reach to actually see this on screen. You'd now have two completely CGI characters to interact that are completely unrelated to what we've seen in the MCU before, but man, it would be awesome, and it would build out the cosmic world that we know they are going to forge in what they're calling the Marvel Cosmic Universe. Perhaps a little too early to be spoiling Eternity, and we'll get him down the road. Guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Are you excited to see the Living Tribunal on screen? Do you understand why I think this is the most likely case scenario, given the Easter eggs, what Marvel Studios has said, and the comic book precedent? If not, if you still don't believe that this greater threat could be the thing that they're hinting at on the horizon and that there truly is a big bad, please let me know in the comments. Let me know who it is. If you think it's Galactus, if you think it's the Skrulls, you guys have not been shy about reaching out, DMing me, telling me what you think. I encourage that. As always, I read as many of the comments as I can, and I get back to you, as many of you as I can, and I sincerely appreciate everybody's interaction. Quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. Okay, we're giving away 2 PlayStation 4 Pros. A lot of you have been asking about this. I'm going to be giving away 2 PlayStation 4 Pros all the way up to 1 million subscribers. As long as that's what you guys want to keep getting, I'm going to keep giving them away. I usually give them out once every 50,000 subscribers. That's how it works. Luckily here, I've been crushing subs so fast that it's been happening every couple of months. Generally, it takes a bit longer, but first, all you have to do to win either of the PlayStations we're giving away right now, hit the subscribe button, leave a like and a comment on this video, then hit the notification bell, because the more videos that you like and comment on, the better chance you have of winning. Now, we're also giving away Marvel stuff as well. We're giving away this awesome Trendsetters limited edition plaque for the first Avengers movie. This thing is super cool. It's a Marvel Trendsetters limited run 2500 plaque containing 10 original film cells from the very first Avengers movie. Not only is it a limited run 2500, but you can't find these things for sale anywhere. They're not on eBay anymore. They're nowhere to be found. I got mine specifically at the Marvel store at Universal Studios. If you want to win this with PlayStations, again, same rules apply. All you have to do, hit the subscribe button, leave a like and a comment on this video and every other video. So hit the notification bell, and you can even go as far as to say, hey, I want every notification, because YouTube intervened and the notification bell doesn't mean what it has meant in the past. Either way, my name's Michael Roman. This is Everything Always. If you've been with my channel since the beginning, I cannot thank you enough. I see you guys every day. I appreciate you so much. If you're just finding my channel for the first time, stick around. We'll be posting again real soon on Avengers, MCU, and everything else related. Thanks a lot, guys. I'll see you again real soon.